Lombardi with your magnificent Lombardi last month.
Thank you very much.
Eve looking better than ever on the podium. Keeping that massive chorus of choristers in there. You would be good, I guess.
I'd like to welcome you to this very special occasion. We particularly want to welcome our special guests. I know you're all wondering if Maestro Levine is here or will be coming. I'm sorry he just could not make it, but we'll have an opportunity on Sunday to enjoy everything that he creates. Jakob von Wagner, the cultural attaché of the Consulate General of the Federal Republic of Germany, thank you very much for coming. Peter Gelb, General Manager of the Metropolitan Opera, who will make some remarks during the program. Thank you for coming, Peter. Eve Queller, Music Director Emeritus of the Opera Orchestra of New York, who has done so much for opera in New York. Thank you. Margaret Juntway, Met broadcast host, whose voice we hear on the Saturday broadcasts and on Sirius. Thank you, Margaret. Joe Volpe and his wife, Jean, I understand they're on their way. When they arrive, I'm sure they'll be coming up here. They'll be escorted up here. And let me just tell you about this amazing family. Joe Volpe, as you know, was the former general manager. His grandson is our youngest complimentary member, Isaac Volpe, who's 4 years old. He loves, there was a picture of him in a recent Wagner Notes. He loves Wagner and also conducts it while listening to recordings and has been to orchestra rehearsals. And not to overlook his parents, his father, Philip Volpe, is here, I know, and his mother, Sylvia Volpe, is principal second violin. Wonderful family. Mignon Dunn was unable to be present, but she sends her greetings. She says, "How I wish I could be with you honoring the magnificent Metropolitan Opera Orchestra. I have boundless respect and affection for you all. I've had the privilege of singing many performances with you and loved hearing those exquisite phrases which began an Aida, or the three crashing chords which heralded Elektra, or the warm, wonderful sounds of the Ring, Lohengrin, Tannhäuser, or most of all, Tristan und Isolde. On a personal note, I had a hilarious time at the horse races in Cleveland during the touring days of the Met, which I attended with a number of brass players. It should be mentioned that these fabulous musicians have rescued a large number of famous conductors. I love you, Mignon Dunn. We love Mignon Dunn, too. We also want to thank our special contributors and those who have assisted with the photos for this program, especially the assistants of the Met Press Office and Columbia University's Rare Book and Manuscript Library, which provided the Anton Seidl photos that you see around. One is Maestro Seidl with his dog named Wotan. They will be presenting an exhibit of their music holdings, including their Seidl materials, in the fall, so you'll get more information about that. About Maestro Seidl, he was born in Hungary in 1850 and enjoyed everything about American life. He even had a summer home in the Catskills. He conducted the premieres and many performances of most Wagner operas at the Metropolitan Opera and in Philadelphia. His concerts in an open-air pavilion at Brighton Beach in the mid-1890s, attended by thousands, were largely Wagner repertoire. He was really the equivalent of a rock star in that period, actually. Our Anton Seidl Award was inaugurated in 1997, both to honor Maestro Seidl and to honor individuals who have made major contributions to the performance and appreciation of Wagner's music dramas in the U.S. The first recipient was Maestro Levine. The other distinguished recipients are listed in your program, most recently Plácido Domingo in 2010. But we've never given it to 140 people at the same time before now. I'm sure you're aware that the Met Orchestra has a Carnegie Hall concert this Sunday, which we all look forward to, and which, of course, has been sold out for some time. Since we're celebrating Wagner's birthday on May 22nd, I would like to note that WKCR, the Columbia University station, will have a 48-hour broadcast of Wagner operas, from Rienzi to Parsifal, on May 22nd through May 23rd, including at least one complete Levine recording. The link to their website's flyer about the event is on our website. Are the Volpes here? No, just one so far. Okay, our host, Will Berger, was born in Los Angeles but has lived in New York since 1984. He's written several books on opera, including Wagner Without Fear, and has published articles in opera company publications. He has been a speaker at many venues and cultural organizations, including Our Society, and has been with the Met through 2006 as a writer, producer, and on-air commentator, and he is responsible for the opera quiz. We thank him for being our host this evening. Will.
Thank you. Thank you all. I like the sound of responsible for the opera quiz. Like I should perhaps offer an excuse right now, but we'll work on that. It's great to see all these faces of people I usually just hear or see in the Met cafeteria, which, you know, looks a lot like this, but it's nice to see you here instead. And before I tell you all how wonderful I've done research to find out how wonderful other people think you are, and I'll tell you how wonderful I think you are. But before I do that, I'd like to hand over the mic to a gentleman you may have met, who has provided me as a Wagner fan with a lot of thrilling nights in the last 6 years. Please help me welcome Peter Gelb.
Good evening. Thank you all. Thank you for inviting me to participate in the special event. I've never been invited to this part of Valhalla before, so I'm especially honored to be here. I know that as the general manager of the Met, I may be regarded by members of this society as potentially more dangerous than Alberic. But I would like to reassure you that my Wagnerian intentions are benign. I even feel somewhat of a connection to Anton Seidl, since it was my idea to recreate the last scene of the 1889 Siegfried, originally conducted by Maestro Seidl, at our 125th anniversary concert gala in 2009. And as it turned out, as I'm sure you all realize by now, the machine was not the Nibelung curse some of you might have originally feared. If nothing else, it provided the best Wagnerian acoustics for our singers and the superb playing of the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra that is being honored today. Now, I'm sure that the Anton Seidl Award will inspire our orchestra to even greater heights when they play the prelude to Lohengrin on Sunday afternoon at Carnegie Hall in the historic, what will be a historic concert, in which they are reunited with Maestro Levine. Of course, the Met Orchestra rose to its current lofty level as a result of its 40-year relationship with Maestro Levine, who, as Nathalie Wagner pointed out, fittingly won the Seidel Award himself the very first time it was presented in 1997. A few weeks ago, the Met Orchestra was honored in London as the leading opera orchestra of the year. I'm sure the reason for this had to do in part with its extraordinary performances of Wagner this season in Parsifal and The Ring. 93 hours of Wagner playing in total, although I'm sure no one in the orchestra has been keeping close count. In summation, I congratulate the Wagner Society and its president, Nathalie Wagner, for their excellent taste in orchestras. And many congratulations to the Met Orchestra for being the best opera orchestra in the world, even if we were in negotiations, which we are not. It would be true.
Thanks, Peter. And as he pointed out, you are continuing a great tradition begun by Maestro Seidl, who came here in the 1880s and not only in New York, but took the Metropolitan on tour along with singers who he knew from Bayreuth, performing Wagner operas in many surprising locales throughout the United States on trains in the 1880s. So no complaining about having to schlep your instruments to Carnegie on Sunday, okay? It could be a lot more. You know who you are, trombones, right? We know there were other Met Opera Orchestra concerts at that time in New York too. We don't have complete information on them. We're working on that. But we do know about the modern series of concerts that begun in 1991 by Maestro Levine. And I wonder who was here at the May 91 inaugural concert. Anybody here remember that? Well, me. Right, okay. A little trivia here. So there was Wagner, well represented. Do you remember any of the program? You had Siegfried Idle. And the entire immolation scene of Götterdämmerung, sung by Jesse Norman, who had also sung La Mort de Cléopâtre, just to throw that in, and Berg 3 pieces for orchestra. So no complaining about the Schubert that you've been rehearsing. You know who you are, trombones. Oh, and the Rienzi Overture for an encore. Get everybody very excited. So referring to Sunday, of course, which we're all very excited about, I'm going to break some news, right? I can do that. I thought you would do that. That everyone can hear it. This will be available on live stream on the Met website, free, no downloads. Even those of us over 30 can figure out how to do it. Internationally, so tell your friends around the world, because if you're not going to be at this concert, either in the orchestra or in the auditorium, you need to hear it. So I'm very excited to tell you about that. And now I need to introduce somebody who you may know, Mr. Robert Sirinek, I'm told, who joined the Met Orchestra as trumpeter, 1977, the year I was born. That's great. And no. Became orchestra manager in 1986. Left his trumpet seat in 1991. Probably around the same time as that first Carnegie concert. Coincidence? We'll find out. And I'm going to tell you a little known fact about Mr. Sirinek that I've discovered, which is that he, for many years, was very proprietary about this, I'm not going to do a leitmotif test for you like I've been doing for a lot of our listeners, but the sword from Das Rheingold, the big leitmotif at the end of Das Rheingold, you know it, was his for many years. And if you want to make him break out into a sweat, just hum a little of the music leading up to that. It's working, watch. So now that I've made him a little nervous thinking about that, I'd like to call him up to the podium, and he has a couple of things to tell us. Mr. Sirinek. And don't leave, because I have something to give you.
Well, thank you for your kind words, Will. And thank you for the opportunity. I don't have very much to say, ironically. I would really just like to say how proud I am of our orchestra and how happy I am that they have received this fantastic award from the Wagner Society. It means a tremendous amount to all of them, I know, to be recognized like this. And to my dear colleagues in the orchestra, I would like to say congratulations on the reception of your award, and my personal bravos to every night that you play. I suppose this is a Wagner event, so particularly this season I say bravo for Parsifal and the Ring, but really, really every night is special to me. And I also thank you for your cooperation and goodwill and flexibility. We had some challenges this season with multiple illnesses and combined in strange ways, and you're always a tremendous help to me. I'm very grateful for that. And yes, it's true, I do break out in a cold sweat and start breathing deeply. Jim Ross would know the solo that we're talking about at the end of Rheingold. But it still happens to this day, which is very surprising to me. And in terms of, I was thinking when I heard about Mignon Dunn before, going to the horse races, going with brass players is never advised. But I'm sure she could hold her own and did hold her own in that context. So I thank you all very much. Orchestra members, 11 a.m. tomorrow, Carnegie Hall. Don't be late. And I will remain.
Don't leave.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Oh my gosh.
We'd like to present you with this clock so you can keep even better track of time. It says, to Robert Sirinek for distinguished service to the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra, the Wagner Society of New York, May 17th, 2013. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We already had, now, that we've all identified that leitmotif in our minds, right? You're not going to make me give you a pop quiz, right? And you heard the fanfare that welcomed you in here? That was the other one, right? What were you expecting? ABBA, maybe? I think that's it for the leitmotif phase of the evening, though. Now I need to ask, where is he? David Chan to come to the stage. I can't, oh, there you are. You're right up front. I hardly recognized you without a fez. Now I have something to present to you on behalf of the Wagner Society, and I'm going to read it directly from this, so bear with me because it's the fancy writing that takes a while to read here. So it says, here's what it looks like. The Wagner Society of New York presents its Anton Seidl Award to the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra, a team of more than 100 artists who together forge a unified expression of beauty. They are part of a tradition of excellence that stretches back almost 130 years. An ensemble of astonishing versatility, these artists are at home in a vast, eclectic range with an intensive performance schedule. In one of the world's longest opera seasons, they have performed under many distinguished music directors and principal conductors, beginning with their first music director, Anton Seidl, for whom this award was named, and continuing through Maestro James Levine, who was the first Seidel Award recipient. They present the New York audience with Mozart unrivaled in Vienna, Verdi unequaled at La Scala, and Wagner unmatched by any German orchestra in the last 100 years. Universally acknowledged as the finest existing opera orchestra, they have expanded into instrumental repertoire and now rank as one of the finest symphonic ensembles in the world. For their remarkable power, crystalline clarity, tremendous passion, and overwhelming impact, and for their fusion of technical agility with the collective souls of poets, the Wagner Society of New York gratefully presents this award. Let them sing it. There you go.
Thank you so much, Will. Before I begin, I'm going to say that I'm suffering from allergies, but I've agreed to speak, so I thank you in advance for your understanding. No, this is an incredible honor for the orchestra. I know I speak on behalf of all of my colleagues when I say that being recognized like this means a great deal to us. For the past 2 decades with our symphonic series at Carnegie Hall, we've had a lot of recognition out of the Opera House, but we spend far more evenings in the Opera House than out of it. So to be recognized for something that represents such a large body of our work is especially meaningful. The orchestra plays a crucial role every night at the opera, but very often it's in a supporting role. And as thrilling as it is to play Norma, I think I can speak for my colleagues when I say that looking at a Wagner opera on the schedule means a lot of different things. It means a long evening ahead. It means a lot of patience, a lot of stamina. But it also represents an opportunity to really represent the emotional undercurrent of a piece. We've been blessed with great casts in Wagner operas in recent seasons. We've also been lucky to have the leadership of James Levine, the greatest Wagnerian of our time. But the orchestra, which plays constantly when the singers are not singing and just gazing into each other's eyes, seemingly endlessly, with the various motifs that come, we comment on their emotional states, on things that one of them doesn't know yet, but the audience knows. And this is an extraordinary role for the instrumentalists of our band. And again, just thank you so much to the entire Wagner Society for giving us this honor. It's very meaningful, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of the entire Met Orchestra. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. I didn't recognize him without a fez on, so I couldn't see him in the audience. I just got a text message from the president of the Bellini Society. Who said, let's see what you say about Norma in a year when you're accepting that award. But for now, enough Bellini. I would like to invite the members of the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra to, well, let's see, sort of form a line. Now, I've seen you do this at the salad bar, so I know you can do it. 2 lines, actually.